I welcome you all to this video lecture on linear search and binary search. Linear search is otherwise called a sequential search. It's a searching method by which we will be checking for a particular element, whether it is available in the list or set of elements or not. Okay, as the name implies, this linear search will sequentially check each element of the list one by one until a match is found or the whole list has been searched out. Here you see we have set of elements. This is what is called as list. Assume that I am searching for the element 20. So what will happen? This search will compare this element to be searched with each and every element of the list one by one sequentially. It will compare 20 with 10. It is not matching. It will go to the next one. It will keep on searching. It will keep on check for the match. Suppose if the match is found, what will happen? This function will return the location where that element is available. Okay, suppose otherwise until the end of the list, if that item to be searched is not found, that means that is the unsuccessful search. Okay, so let us discuss the algorithm. Let us go through the algorithm. You see here, this is the example. I assume that I have a list size of 10, 1 to 10. So from 45 to 16, 10 elements. This is the set of elements, or you can call it as a list of 10 elements. Okay, assume that in this example I am going to search for the element 18. Okay, so here in this algorithm you can see here so many variables are there. Okay, I is the loop variable. Okay, I will vary from 1 2 3 up to the value of n, so that it will be helpful for us to sequentially compare the element to be searched out with every element in the list. Then k is the name of the list. N is the size of the list. That is, in this example it is 10. X is the element to be searched in the set of 10 elements in the list. Fine. Now let us go through the algorithm. Step 1, I is equal to 1. Loop variable is initialized with 1. And k of n plus 1 is equal to x. K of n plus 1, n is 10, 10 plus 1, 11. K of 11 is x. That is k of 11. In the next location, in n plus 1th location, the item to be searched x is stored, which is assumed to be 18 for our example. Right. Then the second step, you see the statement repeat while k of I is not equal to x. Okay, this is the while loop. This loop will be repeated until this condition is satisfied. Once if the condition is not satisfied, it will go to the next step. Okay, now the value of I is 1. So k of 1. So what is happening here? It is comparing the element x, that is element to be searched, with the first element of the list. So k of 1 is 45. 45 is not equal to x is 18. 45 is not equal to 18. Condition satisfies. Okay, so it has to repeat the loop. So it will increment the value of I by 1. So I is I plus I is equal to I plus 1. So I becomes 2 now. Again k of 2. That is 26 is compared with 18. Not matching. Then I becomes 3. 18 is compared with 18. Condition is satisfied. Condition is not satisfied. Condition is not satisfied because k of 3 is 18. X is also 18. So condition is not satisfied. So it will break the loop. It will come to the next one. Next step. If I is equal to n plus 1, why we are checking for this condition is that suppose if the element x is not available in the entire list, then the value of I would have become 11 in this example. That is n plus 1 in general. In that case, we can write unsuccessful search. But in our example, assumed, okay, the value of I is what? Value of I is 3 only. So this condition fails. So it will come to the else case. So successful search, it will write, it will display, then return of I. What is I? I is 3. So the location where the element what we are searching for is returned back to the calling function. So location, we will get the answer 3. That means in the third location, our item is available. Got it? So with this, we will go to the next example. Let us take one more example. You just compare here the item to be searched is 16. I am comparing this one with every element of the list one by one. So it is compared with 45 not matching, 16, 18, 42, 5 and so on. At the last it is available. So here it is matching, so it will break the loop. Here the condition is what? Finally it will check for the condition if I is equal to n plus 1. But in our example, I is equal to n only. So this condition again fails. So it is a successful search. It will return what? The value 10. Following. So in the first two examples, we have taken the value of x in such a way that the item is available in the list. So in the last example, let us take one item that is 39, which is not at all available in the list. So now you see what will happen. So again the same process. It will compare this value x, that is 39, with a list of elements one by one. So no match is found until the end of the list. Okay. Then the value of I becomes 11. Okay. Value of I becomes 11. Then it will come to the next step. Okay. This condition is satisfied, so that it will simply write unsuccessful search. That means the item we are searching for is not available in the list. So return of 0. Okay, location 0 is will be returned back to the main function. No location is 0 in our list. Our list is having the locations 1 to 10. If we get 0 as the answer, that means that is an unsuccessful search. Hope you understood. This is what is called as the linear search. Here the drawback is that fortunately if you have the item to be searched is available in the beginning of the list, then it will be well and good. So time taken will be very less. Otherwise, suppose you see here in the second example, the item is available in the last of the array, at the end of the array. That means what? The time taken for this process is too long. The two, when we have more and more number of values in the list, it's a time consuming one. So that is the drawback of the linear search. Okay, so let us go to the next kind of search, that is binary search. Okay, binary search is also known as half interval search or logarithmic search or binary chop. Okay, binary search is faster than linear search except for small arrays. Suppose if the array size is very less, then it is enough to go for linear search itself. You need not go for binary search, because in binary search some computations will be there. We have to adjust the pointers here and there, that we will be seeing when we discuss about the algorithm, right? And one more condition, or we can say prerequisite for binary search, is that the array or the list set of data or array or the list must be sorted, okay, before going to apply the binary search algorithm. That is the meaning of the third statement. Array must be sorted first to be able to apply binary search. We must sort the entire list before, especially in the ascending order, we have to sort it. So we are the algorithm what we are going to discuss is applicable for the ascending order. So we have to sort the set of data in ascending order, okay, before applying the binary search algorithm. Okay, you see here, binary search compares the target value to the middle element of the array. Assume that I have 9 elements in my array or list. Okay, so I have I have to handle 3 pointers in the case of binary search algorithm. So pointer low L, pointer high H, pointer middle M. Okay, so what will happen if if they are not equal, if the item to be searched is available to the left of the middle value, then the pointer high or h will be adjusted in such a way that, okay, it will pointer high h or high will point to the element 4 in this case. So one half will be eliminated totally, right? That is, binary search compares the target value to the middle element of the array, right? Middle element of the array. So if you search for a particular value, say, you just look at the example here. I am my search data is 18. I have 9 elements, and the pointers are like this. The pointer L is low, that is pointing to the first data. H is 9, pointing to the last data. Okay, middle means the formula is low plus high by 2. L plus H by 2. That is location 1 plus 9 by 2. 1 plus 9, 10, 10 by 2, 5. So middle is 5. So what will happen? It will directly check the middle value of the list with the element to be searched. My element is 18. The middle value of the list is 65. Okay, 18 is less than the value 65. That means definitely the data 18 will not be available from this portion onwards. That is, in the second half of the list, it will not be available. It must be available in the first half of the list, or say we can say left side of the pointer middle, right? So half the portion in which the data item is not available is simply ignored or eliminated. So thereafter, what will happen? The pointer h will be adjusted to point the location 4, as you can see here. So now hereafter, the second iteration, the effective list is going to be only 4 elements. So that is why it is so called as binary set. Binary means 2. So it is dividing the entire list into 2 parts. Okay. If the data is available to the left of the middle value, it will discard the right side of the list, and it will take the effective list only like this, that is 1 to 4. Suppose if the value is, say, if I assume the value 89 instead of 18, that means in the second half of the list the data which I am going to search is available. In that case, I can discard the first half, okay, so that 50% of the data items will be discarded. So the time taken to search the element will be very, very less. That is the advantage of the binary search. Hope you are able to understand the concept. You see here, once again, binary search compares the target value to the middle element of the array, right? If they are not equal, the half in which the target cannot lie is eliminated, and the search continues on the remaining half. Fine. Again, taking the middle element to compare the target value, keeping the new effective set as we discussed already, and repeating the same procedure until the target value is found, right? So in the first iteration, the entire list is the effective list. The second iteration, for this example, only four elements will be in the effective list. We will not be bothering about the remaining data items. That's the thing. And in the succeeding iteration, again 50% of this will be discarded. So in this way we'll be proceeding. All right. Suppose if the data which is being searching, the data we are searching for is not available in the list, what will happen? That is the last statement. If the search ends with the remaining half being empty, the target is not in the array. Okay, it's a very interesting searching algorithm. Let us see the algorithm. So this is the algorithm. I have taken an example. So okay, I have taken a set of 9 elements, as you can see here, and I am searching for the value 18. Now let us go through the algorithm. Here we have the variables low, high, okay, middle, etc. So low is written here as L, high is written here as H, middle is written as M, okay, and X is the value which we are searching in the list, okay, and K is the name of the list. So initialize the low and high pointers. Low is equal to 1, high is equal to n. Here in this case n is 9, so h is 9. Right. Then perform search. Second step says repeat through step 4 while low is less than or equal to h. Repeat through step 4 until this condition is satisfied. That is, it has to go through the steps systematically like this up to the step 4. Repeat through, that is 3, 2, 3, 4. Repeat through step 4 until this condition is satisfied. Okay, now you check for the condition. Low is 1, high is 9, condition is satisfied. So it will come to the next step. It calculates the middle pointer. Formula is low plus h by 2, L plus h by 2. So 1 plus 9, 10, 10 by 2, 5. So middle is 5. So middle is 5. Then compare. If x is less than k of middle, if x is less than k of middle, middle is now 5. So k of I is 65. X is assumed to be 18. So 18 is less than 65. Condition satisfies. Then high is equal to middle minus 1. So in this case, since the middle value is compared with the value being searched, is available in the left half of the list, okay, we can discard the right half of the list by adjusting the pointer h or high like this. High is equal to middle minus 1. Middle is 5, 5 minus 1, 4. H is equal to 4 now. So now H is pointing to this. That means what? L to H. This is the effective array hereafter, effective list hereafter. We need not bother about the remaining elements in the array. Okay, now 5, 8, 18, 42. These are all the elements in the effective array. Right. Now repeat. Low is less than high. Low is less than high. Again, condition is satisfied. So it calculates the new middle position. So low is 1, high is 4, 1 plus 4, 5, 5 by 2. Actually 2.5, but let us take only the integer part of it. So 2. So you keep the pointer here by checking the condition. How the pointer m is moved here? Because 1 plus 4 by 2. So 2. Middle is 2. Fine. Then you check. Now this is the effective array 1 to 4, locations 1 to 4. This is the effective array now. Now the middle value is 8. That middle value 8 is compared with our search value. X is 18. K of middle, K of 2 is 8. Condition is not satisfied. Then it will go to the else case. Else case. It checks whether x18 is greater than K of middle, that is K of 2. Okay, 18 is greater than 8. That means we can discard the left half of the effective array. Again, now we have to adjust the lower pointer L. Okay, then low is equal to middle plus 1. That is why the lower pointer is adjusted from the location 1 to 3. Following? And it goes back. Checks whether low is less than or equal to high. Low is 3, high is 4, so condition satisfies. Again, it calculates the middle value for the new effective array. So 3 plus 4, 7 by 2, 3.5. Let us take only the integer part. So 3. So middle is, the new middle location is 3. Middle point is also placed at the third location. Right. Now you see, here the first condition fails because 18 is less than K of 3. That is also 18. So 18 is not less than 18. Okay, this is not satisfied. It will come to the else case. X is greater than K of middle. That is 18 is greater than 18. That is also not satisfied. That means what? That is a successful search. That is a successful search. Okay, in the location 3, the item is available. So it will write successful search. Return of middle. Return of middle. Middle is the location. Middle is the location. So we'll get what? We'll get 3. We'll get 3 returned. We'll get 3. We'll get 3. We'll get 3 returned back to the calling function. Got the point or not? And that's all. So returned the location where the search item is available. So it will go to the calling function. It won't continue the algorithm. It won't come down to this position because we have the return statement. So it returns the location 3 where the search item is available. Following. Right. Now let us take one more example in which the search item is not available in the list. So let us take x is equal to 100 and same algorithm you just go through. I have same 9 set of elements which are sorted in ascending order as in the previous case, right? Same set of elements. The search element is 100 instead of 18. Okay. Low is initialized with 1 and high is initialized with 9. Repeat through step 4, same thing. Low is compared with high, so 1 is less than 9, satisfies, so it will find the middle value. 1 plus 9, 10, 10 by 2, 5. So middle is equal to 5, so the pointer middle is placed at the 5th location. Then compare this one, that is x. X is 100 now. 100 is, if 100 is less than k of middle. K of middle is 5. K of I is 65. So 100 is not less than 65. So condition fails. It will go to the else case. If x is greater than 65, yes, then the lower pointer is adjusted. Low is equal to middle plus 1. Low is equal to middle plus 1. So in this case, the 100 value 100 is greater than the middle value 65. So the left hand side list can be discarded. So hereafter the new effective list is going to be from location 6 to 9. Right? And it continues. Now it checks L is 6, H is 9, condition satisfies, L is less than H. So it will find the new middle value. What is that? 6 plus 9, 15 by 2, integer part only 7. So in the 7th location, the middle pointer is placed, right? And it compares. It compares. 100 is compared with the value 80. Condition fails. So it will go to the else case. 100 is greater than the middle value 80. Yes, 100 is greater than 80. That means in the right hand side only the value is available. So the pointer L is again adjusted. Low is equal to middle plus 1. So the pointer L is adjusted from 6 to 8. Okay, it continues. Now also the condition low is less than or equal to high is satisfied because L is 8, H is 9. And it calculates a new middle value. Low plus H by 2, 8 plus 9 by 2, 8, middle is 8. So it will keep the middle pointer at the 8th position. Now it checks 100 is less than K of middle. What is middle? 8. So K of 8, 89. 100 is not less than 89. So condition fails. It will go to the else case. 100 is greater than 89. So it will adjust again the lower pointer to the new position. Low is equal to middle plus 1. Okay. So this low is moved to this one. And the same process is repeated. Okay. Condition is what? L is less than or equal to H. Equal. Both are L and H both are 9. So satisfies. Finds a new middle value. 9 plus 9 by 2. 9. So now all the pointers are in the same location. You see. Now it checks whether the value 100 is less than the middle value. That is 96. Middle value now is 96. The first condition is failing. 100 is less than 96. The condition fails. It goes to the else case. Okay. 100 is greater than 96. That is also failed. That is also failed. No, which is not failed. Okay. X is 100. K of middle, that is K of 9 is 96. So this condition is satisfied. So again the lower pointer is adjusted, middle plus 1. So now middle is 9, middle plus 1, 10. So the pointer L is moved to 10th location. That is out of the effective list. This is what is called as the unsuccessful search. So now we will come to know that one. So you see it goes back. What is the condition? Pointer low is less than or equal to high. Pointer low is 10, high is 9. So condition fails. So it will come to the fifth step because the condition is satisfied means it will go through the step 4. Otherwise it will come to the step 5 and it will write unsuccessful search, return of 0. Following? So that is all about the binary search algorithm. But actually when compared to linear search, binary search algorithm is very fast. Okay. Especially we have to go for binary search algorithm when we are having more number of data in the list. That too, one more condition that is prerequisite we have to look into is that the data items in the list should be sorted before applying the binary search algorithm. And we can apply the linear search algorithm when the number of elements in the array is or the list is less. Okay, hope you have understood both linear and binary search algorithm. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.